Just so you guys get a gist of what we're working with. You should be able to see me in there. Red, orange, and yellow guy, blue beard. Some people call me Nearly Headless Nick, another Harry Potter reference in case you muggles didn't get it. But we are looking for those cold spots, and they're going to be blue and black. Black is going to be the coldest. I'm looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops out here. It said it's going to be about, I think it said 50 to 52 degrees ambient for us. So I'm going to be looking for 35 degrees and colder coming out of the blue dot that's bouncing around the screen. I'll explain that in just a minute. So the blue and black areas, we're always going to have blue and black. It's chilly out here. Anything that's made of glass, like windshields, windows, aluminum cans, signs, they're all going to be colder than everything else. Sometimes rocks, just depends on what's on the ground. I want these things to move or to take shape. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. That's what I'm looking for. That's what we've caught with this guy in the past. Hopefully that's what we're going to capture again. That's the cool thing about this. I also love to give you stats about the equipment I'm about to hand you. I am not a TV show host. I am not a YouTuber. So this guy captures 4 to 5 pieces per year that I would put my stamp of approval on, not per episode. Are you guys seeing the point?
Yep.
I do have dozens of others from the blue dot bouncing around the screen showing you the coldest spot for where I'm looking for that 15 degree temperature drop. I have dozens of those, but I also want it to move across the screen. If it stands still on that sign, I know it's the sign. So you guys are going to see a lot with this. Again, I might not see anything when I do my spot check, and whenever you guys see something in this in real time, I'll take a note to watch that particular part of the video specifically. Again, I do spot check everything, so I might miss something unless I take note of it. So, Captain, this one's going to go over to you because I know you've never used one before. As soon as I get it to stop. For South Carolina. It's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined, especially this far away from an election. So we're going to move on. If I don't give the recognition to the gentleman for signing the Constitution, they will do it for, I see it, and now citizen.
11,
Waiting on 19 or higher.
So, where are you seeing?
So this dot that just keeps bouncing.
Why are you on heat signature?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Damn.
This dot has just been bouncing like in between.
So let's stop that for a second because we want to.
Okay.
Haven't done that in a while, but that was interesting.
Oh, okay. So now it's got the temperature under it instead of just the dot. Okay.
All right. So
This is killing my ADHD.
so take it off for a few minutes so I can actually get through this history. We're going to have you put it back on in just a minute. So we're going to talk about Eliza instead. By the way, if I don't give the gentleman a recognition, they do it for me on one of your spirit boxes through their own voice, not radio chatter. So I just make sure I give it to them. We move on. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from when girls got married at like 12 and 14. That's not the case. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age when they married. So it's kind of a creepy age gap then and creepy age gap now. I'm just going to put that out there. It's my own opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Anyway, moving on. She married him because her father was over in England, where the family's from. And Dad thinks he's dying over there. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time. Well, Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here, got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to earn a green card. We're not a country yet. There's no such thing. She did marry him out of love. This is a true love story, guys. There's nothing horrific about this location. Again, place of respect. You'll see why in just a moment. She was correct. Dad didn't die right away, and instead he started sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. So some of you are wearing it right now because that's what we use it for. When she got the seeds though, no idea what to do with it. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. It's not always warm here. We're all wearing coats tonight. Then she learned how to make the dye and moved it to a cash crop. Got a hold of Dad overseas, told him that the rice plantation prices were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo because Shauna already got the answer. It caught fire. My next question for you guys would be, when did that happen? Very specific numbers. If we get the what, which we already did, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of that fire. So take that for what it's worth. I am going to hand you the same set of questions though, just based off the type of spirit boxes that you're working with. You're going to get a plethora of stuff like you've already been doing. So you're going to both be focused on Eliza's death. So the 4 major questions that we get to her, around her death: how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are the 4 majors. If you go rogue, no yes, no questions, be respectful, do not ask about her children. So those are kind of like the 3 little major things about this location. If we do, all activity will stop, including all the little things that Tim's getting right now. Not to mention the word fire that showed up from Sean already. And I'm gonna have to count like whatever the hell's going on. Do you have the red dot on there still?
Yeah,
No?
it's
Oh, I see
it's
it. I
bounced.
see
It was up there. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, the craziness that is going on with the thermal tonight. Like, I've never seen that happen before, where it just gave me the heat signature
Dot.
instead of the cold signature. So very interesting pieces. Let's see. So with yours, Tim, if you wanted to focus on anything specific, that thing will give you numbers as well as far as the device in your right hand. So if you wanted to focus on, I don't know who James is, but I'll write it down, only because I don't know. When I asked things about the marriage, like how old she was, how old, they were married, anything number related, that thing will give you numbers as well. So, wow, you guys are really literally on top of this thing. I don't always get to see teams. Some people just don't get how to listen to a spirit box. So I have to explain it like all through the night. So we're gonna see how this goes tonight. So our highest so far on the EMF reader is 19. Hopefully we get above that. By the way, the little blinky light device, just so you guys have an inkling of thought, only goes to 25. That's why they use it on the TV shows. We're probably gonna go well beyond that tonight. So yeah,
I got 47 earlier.
47.
Yeah.
Anything else relevant to here? We're still close enough for the proximity. That's why I look for the secondary clues. Yeah, you're just breaking my shit, dude. That's
I'm
what
sorry.
you're doing.
I have
Alright.
that effect.
Spread out, guys.
New
Have some
York.
fun. Those are New York. New York, 1947.
Council. Council.
Got it.
Event.
What?
Event.
Alright.
You got a weird vibe on that
I'm
thing,
gonna
man.
be gentle with it. That's the garbage can. bumped it and closed it as I was walking over here, but
Well, the good thing is when you do that kind of stuff, it saves the video that you were already recorded. So, and what happens with these cameras is I basically I splice them all together and send them up to YouTube, so you have one video per camera.
okay.
To be honest with you, I've probably spent more time with you holding the thermal than I have with anybody else holding a thermal in probably the past year and a half. I normally don't follow up with this camera in real time just because it's so small. I watch these videos on YouTube, just like you guys. They're on a computer, you guys watch them on your TV.
Right.
So, but the fact that it has been acting wonky, I can't deny what's going on with it. And it's not the first cold night that I've been out here with it. So I'm kind of like, what the hell's going on with it? Just a weird happenstance. I've never seen it go black and have all of the other functionality pieces of it.
Yeah, right now it's acting a little stranger than usual than it had been. It had been pretty solid, just blue, and now it's kind of flipping between the heat and cold a lot more than it
So
was.
the sky has no surface. So
Yeah.
the blue dot defaults to the sky. So try to take the sky out of your
That's what I've been trying to do, is kind of keep it low, because I was noticing that, but even still, just the ground surface of it, and maybe it was because it was like barely on the.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's get everybody yanked back here. Go ahead and stop that.
27 Charles.
It stopped a while ago. Okay.
But if we get a disembodied whistle, more than likely it's going to come up on the audio of that camera or my voice recorder. However, just like your Irish Spring commercial, I can't tell you how many times I'm actually going through the spot check of that recording and I hear a whistling part of a song or a commercial, like in your case, and then I get the word doctor immediately after. Doctor, you get the point. It happens all the time. I don't look for it. By the way, when I'm spot checking your media, it's every 5 minutes of increment. So minute 1, 5, 10, 15, 20. That way I'm not looking for anything. And then I go back through it and go, oh, we were at the Dueler's Alley at that point. We were at the Pinckney Mansion at this point. And like that makes sense for that location. So that's kind of how I go through it. I try to stay as biased as possible, but it's hard when you visit these places as often as I do. If you try this on your own and walk all the way through the alley, remember I've been kicked out of here. Use your voice recorders on your phone. Try to see if you can capture the whistles for yourself. But remember, every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. I can't drive past this alley without whistling in my car. It's just something we do here. Let's talk about how I got kicked out of here. Don't worry about Shauna because I can't see her. Do you know where she went?
No. She's sitting.
Is she sitting up there?
Sitting right there.
Okay. So there used to be a wall about halfway between us and Cumberland Street, which is exactly why I stopped here. Yes, I've been down here with a tape measure, just so I know exactly where to go. But anyway, the wall was there because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So it was called Cow Alley. This was before Dueler's Alley. We're going further back in time. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because they started down there on Queen Street and worked their way slowly over the years to what we're looking at right now. Those bricks down by Queen are older. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there. And I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid's not there staring at that brick in the afterlife. It's not haunted. It was a history lesson. We all need to see how far we've come from slavery. So, November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there. And we're supposed to just point it out and keep walking. Well, all 10 of my people stopped. And they waited. So they're waiting for something to happen with all the gear that I handed out that night. I know nothing's going to happen. So, but anyway, so I'm trying to shoot them along because we're standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I know, I'm just trying to be respectful. I didn't realize we were out of bounds. That new owner of the mansion came out screaming his head off. My daughter was on the tour that night. She was about 14 years old, and she thought it was hysterical that her father was getting screamed at right in front of her. She was all about it. The next day we moved on. It was Thanksgiving. I don't call on Thanksgiving because I worked in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this. You guys fight over cows on Thanksgiving. So, yeah, I'm scarred for life. I don't work on Thanksgiving anymore. The next day, the 28th of November, I called my partner that I had at the time. I told him what happened, and I'm trying to figure out what to do because I've never done this before. Never got in trouble for it. He's already laughing because he already got the complaint from the city. So, he said you got to reroute your group, and hung up the phone. So what I told my group that night was, I don't believe in the next story because I'm not into pirates and into vampires. Normally I would tell you a pirate story, but we've been kicked out of there too. So, anyway, before we left the space, somebody with a spirit box. Oh, by the way, if I tell you we're going to be discussing pirates, what's the first pirate you think of? Blackbeard. They didn't know who it was going to be, probably assuming it was going to be Blackbeard. But somebody on a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them it was going to be Anne Bonny, the famous female. Yeah, totally different twist, right? So we get around the corner, and I told him we also heard the number 300. I didn't know what it meant. I wrote it down. Researched it. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 17. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. That's normally the reaction we get is that, whoa, that's super cool. I was actually kind of pissed off. Reason being, I have a master's degree in creative writing and several other bachelor degrees in other forms of writing. Whenever I'm researching anything, any facts and data, pirate stories are written 100 years after the golden age of piracy. That's a problem for me. It means whenever you guys found something, I had to read like 5 textbooks to try to verify one small piece of evidence. So again, always looking for those extra clues. Here's what's going to happen at the next location. We're not discussing pirates, obviously, but we could still get legal. That's the interesting part. When I got kicked out of the pirate place, I actually just went straight over to the story that every other ghost story tells, and I hate that story because it's cursed. So I decided to replace it again, but I couldn't find anything. Well, the evidence came to me. I'm going to tell you about that once we get around the corner, but we are going to be swapping out Kirk's camera so I can get him a new one. That's hard to say, Kirk's camera. So I'm going to get him a new one and show him how to use it, and then show you guys how it actually works. We are going to be dealing with the cemetery, but it is kind of like an old wives' tale. But I'm going to tell you why we actually cover it, because it's me learning about the location, trying to verify the pieces that are going on there based off of the old wives. It's an interesting story, but it is based off of some truth of what I can find. So again, this is, you guys are my guinea pigs, because right after Halloween is when I started experimenting with the new space. This is the new space. So we're going to see what we can get out of it.